Well, howdy, 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 everybody. Teresa here with...
Bradley.
It is... What's today's date? The 14th.
Yep.
July 14th. Is this your sister's birthday?
16th.
16th.
Yep.
Was this your mom's birthday?
The 18th.
Okay. There's somebody's birthday out there. So if it's your birthday, happy birthday. Yes, we'll see. I need to color soon. Get that straight out of the way. So I know it only bothers me, but it bothers me. Anyway, it is Thursday, July 14th, 2022 at
2:44.
2:44. So I thought I'd come on here. I have not made a video in a while, and I know you guys are kind of wondering what's going on. And I know I haven't been very frequent as of late. What the heck is this? Okay. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Nothing majorly wrong or anything. Really haven't been too much going on this week. The only thing is, Brad and I are getting increasingly frustrated with, be very careful when you sign up every year for whatever health insurance plan you're gonna, if you're having to go through, what's it, Marketplace or...
I believe so.
What?
I believe so.
Not Marketplace, but it's called something else. Maybe it is called. But yes, call in, you select your health insurance if you're a private pay like we are. Because you'll get sold a plan that you think, okay, that's not too bad. And then you come to find out that like our insurance plan, even though it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, it is called Blue Cross Blue Shield Home.
Yeah.
And they only will cover UNC affiliated. Means you can go outside the network, see a doctor, but the thing is, you have to pay the doctor and they will reimburse, and the insurance will reimburse you. Well, most of us can't afford to go and pay a doctor up front and then, get reimbursed. We're finding that more and more. So basically, if they're not with Nash, we can't see them. I had a podiatrist appointment, and we decided we also wanted to have them just look at Brad's feet, because he's had a lot of foot trouble for years and years and years, way before he was a diabetic. And so I called to see if I could get him an appointment, and then they started asking about insurance and stuff, and that was when we found out that they don't take our insurance. So, we end up canceling both appointments because, we don't have the money to pay a couple $100s for a doctor to examine our feet and then wait to be reimbursed. And I think they only reimburse like 50% or something like that if they're out of network.
Yeah, I believe it is.
So be careful when you're selecting. We had no way of knowing. Now see, this is the same insurance plan we had the year before. Though it tripled in cost. And the first year, most of the other doctors still took it. And I don't know what happened with the beginning of 2022, but they stopped. So, I'm getting very frustrated. We moved to this area. You guys all know why we moved here. With that being said, we moved to this specific area because we thought of good medical care. Well, if they don't have a doctor with Nash that covers whatever specialty, and then people wonder why all of the emergency rooms are so full. Because sadly, it's like most primary care doctors don't really do anything. I feel like all they do is direct traffic. Because they're going to want you to go to this specialist, that specialist, and it's like, so you're just directing traffic. We love our primary care doctor and stuff, and our hands are probably tied. And it's also not her job to see when she sends us referrals, or she gives, these places, refers us if they take our insurance or not. That's not her job. But it is very frustrating to me. My hair is just, and kind of discouraging. But we'll get it handled. You know, we're not down and out.
Nope. And we ain't the type to give up.
We are getting ready to and working on launching our own little business. Brad does woodworking, and you probably don't know that because he didn't get to do as much as he wanted to in Wyoming because he worked all the time. And then when we lived in Florida, we didn't really have any place to set up. And then here, because he was so disabled, not only with the back, but the hip. So, but now we're getting things set up. See, this is our home, right? So when you walk into our home, and I think you guys can tell, it's not a showcase. We buy for function. We usually we're very frugal. You'll find not my craft stuff in the front room because I have a bigger bedroom. And also, I'm not having to lug heavy pieces of woodworking, reciprocating saw, the miter,
compound miter saw,
the workbench,
the router.
So when you walk to our home, you're going to find it's kind of like, I don't know, I guess you would kind of count our home as like a big craft, because we're making a section in the front room that is tucked around a corner that he can keep these bigger pieces of woodworking stuff, equipment that he has to bring outside, so he doesn't have to carry it as far. So, but we're getting ready to launch into a business where making, of course, more birdhouses, and we're going to change. We have some very unique ideas for that. When you combine Brad's woodworking skills with my artist skills, you're going to come up with some really unique pieces. And we're going to come up with making memory plaques and memory boxes geared more specifically for if you have an animal that, whether they're alive or dead. One where you could put paw prints in the back or inside the box, pictures, very unique designs. And then as we get going on this more, we're going to make them very custom, where you can customize them, and of course it'll depend on the price, how much you want them customized. So we're working on that. I'm excited about that. We have a lot of really tangible, cool ideas. So we're working on a prototype now, and then we're going to we'll probably set up a store in Etsy again, and then we'll utilize TikTok, Facebook, and here on YouTube to promote our business. Because in this day and age, you really could use a supplemental income. We're on a fixed income, and everything has gone so insanely high for all of us. And it's like, if we really want to be able to achieve some of the things that we want to achieve, we need to make some supplemental income. Plus, it's good for us to be busy. And I'll get into that whole thing. But, and it's good for both of us to be busy. With this launch too, and I don't even know what the name of the business is going to be, but, it'll probably just be Darb and Twee.
That works.
That's what we go by a lot. Darb is Brad's name spelled backwards. But I'm also going to be putting my paintings on Etsy and incorporating that. There's a lot of ideas we have. So, and also the memory boxes and plaques, you also could use for baby, for baby memorabilia. Not necessarily that they have passed on, though you could, but the children grow so fast, and it'd be nice to store like maybe their hospital band, their first haircut, milestones, maybe, that kind of stuff. I mean, really whatever you'd want to put in it. So I think it'll be something that'll be really nice. People want a nice, memory box. So We have lots of ideas on that. I was thinking about doing the tumblers, but I like to research before I launch into a business. And I've had a few other businesses in the past. And Brad had a woodworking business he had a best friend. They were doing it together way before he met me. But I like to do my research before I launch into a business because, first off, you have to have some startup costs, which, we're scraping bottom of the barrel starting this out, and that's always how I seem to roll. But when I researched it, there's so many people doing the tumblers, and it really, I feel like, has been pretty much overly saturated. Plus the equipment you have to buy alone, the space you need. I mean, we're talking, I would need the entire extra bedroom plus some. And, I really don't want to invest in something like that full time when I know the market is so saturated. Jelly bean. Wow. Are you okay there? But anyway, so after I researched that, I decided that was not that tangible of an idea. I've already done the sewing, and one of the things is like I said, I've already done it, and the wax melts, the market is so saturated. When I was doing all the candles and wax melts, it was before Glade and every Better Homes and Garden, and all of these guys were doing Febreze and stuff, were doing the wax melts. So, I had a good business, and, and it lasted as long as it was supposed to last. But now it's time I like doing businesses. I'm good at doing the listings. Brad's good at dealing with people. That brings us to another thing, dealing with people. Beware, if you order from Fingerhut, I'm going to put this out. Beware and keep a close eye. I know I talked on this before about setting up where it's automatic payment, because they can decide to take out whatever amount they want. You may say, I give you permission to take out, let's say, $72 a month. Well, no, if they want to double the payment and add a late fee or add a whatever kind of fee, if you... Jelly Bean, please. I have an open sore on my leg. She keeps wanting to lick it. The nature problem was, I had payments due on the 1st. I wanted to move them to the 15th. And, because, I have, like, our mortgage and lot rent and everything due on the 1st. And they said, yeah, okay, you can do that. We can move it to the 15th. Well, come the next month, no, they still took out on the 1st. Then they took out on the 15th, too. Some months they decided they would take out a double payment on the 15th. They didn't credit me for all the payments they took out. Then they tried to hit me with, so June, last month, I decided to get away with because this was all automatic payment, to make it where they couldn't do that. Because I was trying to work with them, I wasn't getting anywhere. Well, lo and behold, they get a hold of me right away, right? And they'd already taken out the 1st of June. And I said, I'm not doing the 15th because your guys already took out this month. Then they hit me with a late fee that I hadn't paid. So, I'm not that great dealing with people. I have a bit of a temper sometimes. Don't look at me like that.
Be quiet.
So, I have Mr. Heidi call. When we go through this, I give you permission, yada, 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 yada. He didn't get anywhere either. After 2 hours of being with them on the phone, 3 different people, he got hung up on once. He never would, he was being nice and stuff. We still didn't get anywhere. So, and he even said, we aren't making a payment till you guys fix this. Because before, when I've talked to him, oh yeah, it's fixed, and you only owe your standard payment in July on the 15th. No. So, beware of these companies with the automatic payment. And I know what you're going to say. Finger Hut's a big rip-off place, and I agree. But sometimes that's what you can afford. And they know that. And I will never do business with them again. You know, I will never do business with these guys again.
Yep.
We're not making a payment. I told Brad, I said, let them take me to collection. We'll fight it out through collection agency then. You know, Brad's going to contact the BBB and turn them over. Probably turn over Clayton Homes too, because we can't get anything fixed in this home that's under warranty. And he never gets any response anymore. And it's been going on for over a year. So, the floor now is so bad, the linoleum is so bad that there's basically holes in it. I mean, it would have been an easy fix if they would have done it a year ago, but, so, you know, it's all about standing up for yourself. You know, and sadly, sometimes that's what you have to do, but I'm ready for, take me to collection, we'll battle it out there, because, you know, you're not giving me credit when you're taking out double payments, and, you know, and the only thing they just keep repeating themselves, and this is another thing. And another thing, I am not prejudiced. Bradley is not prejudiced. Brad is a beautiful mixed mutt. So am I. I think we all basically really are, if you're honest. Right?
Yeah.
But I always say he's a big, beautiful mix, a wonderful. But you cannot get with, I am only talking about Finger Hut, and I know a lot of other companies are this way. Like, I only talk about what I know right now with Finger Hut. You cannot speak with somebody in this country. Doesn't matter how many times you ask. You can't. And they don't know, and they're reading off a script. And, you know, God love them, they're just trying to do a job, right? But still, they aren't really trained. They're reading off a script. You can't talk to a supervisor, you know, or anything like that. So it's very frustrating. It'll get sorted out, you know. But it does get frustrating. It's like, really? But, I've been dealing with my depression again. That's why I've been so quiet. I think you guys that have followed me for a long time, and especially those of you who are my closer friends, know when I'm getting very quiet that I'm going through some depression. I am, you know, certain things happened with the family, which I've already talked about, that really, really have affected me, especially what was done with the death of my father and stuff. Really, really has torn me to shreds. And I'm dealing with it the best I can. You know, I'm not going to do anything. I haven't even thought about doing anything. I have a lot of trouble sleeping. I mean, it'll be 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning before I get sleep anymore. And that's a depression. And if it gets any worse, I'm going to probably need to do like the telecounseling thing. But I don't know how expensive that is, and I don't know what our insurance covers. I'd have to find that out. But, so I'm dealing with that. I told Brad, we were talking early this morning, you know, I think you guys know too, I've been through a lot of stuff, and for me to start smoking after 8 years, it may be something that really affected me. And a few things really have. It's a whole combination of stuff. And it's a combination of things that happen with the family, things have happened with some of our friends passing away, our own struggles with disabilities. You know, I mean, my body doesn't want to cooperate at all. Sometimes you feel like you're in this body that doesn't want to behave, it doesn't want to function. And I know all of us are very frustrated as we get older. And I'm not complaining, because at least I'm alive to, you know, complain about it. But before, how I handled everything was I would acquire another pet, which I'm not going to do. I would cook, bake a lot, and in turn then eat a lot. or I would throw myself into another big craft or something. And I guess basically we're kind of talking about that with doing a new business. But you know, Brad needs to have a focus too. He gets frustrated as well. And let's face it, there frankly isn't a whole lot that you can go out and do that you can afford right now. If a lot of you guys are in the same boat we are, and I mean, once you pay for everything, you're like sitting there holding 2 pennies. And so it really isn't a lot you can go do. And if you're disabled, there's even less. Brad and I really wanted to go to a concert. Is REO Speedwagon, Styx, and Loverboy. And it's coming to Raleigh. And it's just like right before his birthday and our anniversary. But Brad wrote to find out because I would have trouble getting in there. But we have a wheelchair and stuff. And they don't really like, what they tell you, they don't really like to sell the as a handicapped.
The outlets that are not affiliated with that particular center that sells tickets, and yeah, they do not like selling the handicapped seats because a lot of times they do, and the people get there and the seats have already been sold.
So there's that. So I don't know how that complies with ADA laws. You know, but I got bigger things to do than split peas about that. But I guess we will not be going to the concert, and that's just, it isn't right at all. As all of us get, and I told Brad, I said it's ludicrous because people that really love REO, Speedwagon, Styx, and Loverboy are all people about our age, if not a little older. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But that is life. So, but it's really hard because, like I said, my biggest inclination, if I'm stuck at home, and sometimes I feel that way, you know, because maybe you don't feel really well enough to be going out and you don't really have the extra money to be spending, is to bake. I specifically like to bake. And I can't, though. I bake very little, if you guys have noticed. Because I used to be baking all the time. You know, you always had homemade cookies and stuff. We'll eat it. So, you know, I try to be careful on, you know, because I would bake multiple things at a time. So I try not to do that now because, you know, everything costs so much. But I mean, we can't afford the carbs with being diabetics. Still working really hard on that. That can get kind of hard at night because at night you want to do the emotional eating. I've been doing a lot of crying. Brad knows that. I'll start talking to him about some things, you know. And, you know, I am very, very much grieving over the death of my father. I always wanted to have another conversation with him. I was very close to him growing up. But that was not able, I've already talked to you guys about that. That was not really a feasibility, and I didn't wish to cause a lot of problems. So, but I have to honestly say, I don't think there's been a crueler thing done. And that shows you the mother's love. Some of you guys haven't understood because I know some of you guys are like, you know, always call your family and stuff, and it's like, but you don't understand, not all of us have happy, healthy families. But that just shows the caliber of person that she is. And, you know, this will be something that she will never be forgiven for. Or my brother. I do not have a mother or a brother. And I mean, that was all conviction. You may or may not understand it, but believe me, But I will even tell you that he thinks that she's probably about the most evil person he's ever met. She could have been a psycho killer. I mean, anybody that loves to tell tales about killing cats and stuff, and boiling their bones and stuff, you know? Or tell tales of things that she did to me and thinks it was the greatest tale ever, and just like, and tell those stories in front of me as to bring back that illicit, wonderful memory. That has really, really affected me. I mean, I know the relationship has always been very strained, but I had no idea I was so severely hated. And you can't control what people do, but it still does affect you. I mean, because when my dad's dead, he's dead. And what is that?
It's a commercial to a game.
Well, can you turn it down or something? Because I'll get
Okay.
not monetized, but still,
Yeah.
I'll get a copyright strike. But I've been having a hard time dealing with that. When you feel like everything you ever were was stripped from you. I was always very, very much into family. I mean, I was Susie Homemaker. I mean, my house was always clean. Like I said, I cooked from scratch. You always had a lot of baked goods and good meals.
Mm-hmm.
And, I sewed, I did crafting. I was, was always volunteering at the school and stuff. I mean, I really loved it. And when you feel like you were mother stripped from you, grandmother stripped from you, anybody's daughter stripped from you, of any real, you feel like you're just invisible. And I really don't know who I am, because that's what I identify with. And I don't know really what to do now. I really don't. I always had hope, and I don't now. I mean, hope as in things would get resolved, and I don't now. So I don't really know. I mean, I'm too old to start a career, and, we are where we are. We're pretty much kind of stuck here, and I don't know. And then you get very discouraged about not being able to get proper medical care. Because I really, need to have a kidney doctor again and numerous other doctors. So it does make you feel very defeated. And I'm just talking to you guys about this very frankly because, that's just how I am. And it does I think we all need to stop being ashamed of who we are and how we feel. We all want to pretend like we're something we're not, or not all of us, but a lot of people. And I'm just me. I was a housewife. I was a homemaker. Everything centered around my family. I mean, I would bake stuff and take it over to his mom's house and just leave it on her counter and just surprise her when she got off of work. I mean, my neighbors always knew me well because even when we moved to Florida, the RV park, I was still baking like lemon blueberry pound cake and stuff and have Brad take it over to our next door neighbor and stuff. Because that's just what I like to do. But now I don't know who I am. And I don't know what really to do with myself other than, pour myself into a business. Because that's something I'm good at and something I do enjoy. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm trying to, it'll get better. I'm just trying to sort myself out. When this all initially first happened, when I found out about my father, I tried to pretend like I was a lot better than I was. Like, oh, I can handle it. And I can handle it. But it doesn't mean I'm not very sad and not, grieving, you know. Who wants to have to admit that your mother has always hated you since I was the smallest child on? She has always hated me. And I'm not kidding on that, guys. Brad can tell you, this woman has always hated me. My brother can do no wrong, even though he has done so many things to them. I have never done that kind of stuff to him, but I've always been hated. I had no idea the degree of hate. I don't understand it. My grandmother never understood it. You know, and people wonder why I back so far off of even friendships a lot of times, because I'm scared. I don't want to get hurt anymore. I don't want to get hurt anymore. And I think we're all that way. But it is hard because I can't say that I had a mother that loved me. And I know I'm not the only one. There's lots of people that maybe you're adopted and you always wonder, you know. I mean, Brad grew up wondering why his birth father, you know, and, you know, it's kind of like it's a little late in life to try to figure out what you want to be when you grow up. You know, I mean, I don't know how to be anything else. And I know there's other avenues. I may do some volunteering at Tender Mercies. I really like that gal there. That's where we took all of Angel's cat food and stuff. I mean, if I did even 1 or 2 days a week, it'd be getting me out of the house and working with some animals and stuff, which would be really good for me. We want to do go swimming and stuff. I'm just waiting. I have some open sores on my legs that I need to have heal up. Just kind of looking at different avenues. But just bear with me that I'm quieter than normal, because and I don't find I have a lot to really talk about. I don't really have anything that, I mean, well, I think that you guys would think was real exciting. I mean, we'll be sharing the journey of the woodworking and stuff, and showing you guys what we're making, and you know, of course, then as we get things, you know, launched more. But besides that, we don't really, and I guess that's part of my issue too, and I know so many people are depressed because we all went through the pandemic. And no, it's not completely over, and I don't think it ever will be. I think this is the new normal, that we're going to almost have waves of it like we do different versions of the flu. And, but we get through that, things start to open back up, and then we're all hit with this massive inflation. And it's just shocking. And they say it's just going to keep getting higher. And I think that has a lot of us depressed. I know a lot of us that were planning on taking trips. Nope. You know, I feel bad for everybody getting ready for back to school, because, you know, but, and I know that a lot of people are depressed right now because of all that. And I'm no different. I'm not any better than anybody else on that. You know, because you don't feel like you have a whole lot of hope. I like to have goals. I still have my goals. I still am losing weight. I'm working hard on losing weight. You know, that's why I haven't climbed on myself too much about the smoking, because right now, between the depression and trying to lose weight, I'm going to go ahead and use it as a crutch for a while. And I know it's not good for me and all that. I'm doing the best I can. That's all I'm going to say. I'm doing the best I can. You know, that's just what it is. I would rather do that than have to take some more drugs to numb myself out. Yes, I could go see a doctor. I could, you know, a mental health doctor, and get prescribed more stuff. I don't want to if I don't have to, and that may come down to that, but I really don't want to be zombied out all the time. It's just like I normally go through the day and don't take any of my painkillers unless I absolutely have to, because I don't want to be zombied out. You know, so I'm just doing the best I can. And I ask you guys, you know, just to, you know, if you have something mean to say, just save it. You know, those of you that are actually, you know, loving and kind will understand that, hey, I'm just a human like everybody else. You know, how is that really any different than people that, you know, are drinking every night? I mean, it isn't. I mean, you know, I certainly wouldn't invade your airspace ever. But it is what it is. I feel bad for Brad. It's not easy being married to somebody who's depressed. Yeah, he's had his issues with depression, though it's never been as chronic or as long as mine. And it always will be. It runs in my family very strong. And I hate it. Because sometimes when I'm real depressed, I can't concentrate on anything. And it's very reflective on how things will be around me. The more chaotic it is in my head, the more clustered and chaotic it is around me. Because I can't think straight. I'll tell Brad that all the time. They can't hear you nod your head, dear.
I was just trying to, yeah. No, you have, you know, this is something, it took me a long time to realize, you know, what was going on, you know, and I see you working really hard not to let it get you down, but it's hard on you, you know, and since we've been married a couple years, you know, now I know the signs to read, you know, and I just, you know, I want to be there for you, whatever I can do and whatever I need to do to help. I definitely want to be there for you, and we'll get through this.
Yeah, I just feel so hurt by what we've done. I just feel so hurt. But there's not anything I can do about it.
No.
When you feel like you've been... I am not going to cry. When you feel like you've been stripped of everything you ever thought you were, then you wonder, what now? And there isn't going to be a new fabulous job for me out there. There isn't going to be... I don't think, realistically, I don't think there's going to be any of the dream vacations that we wanted. I always wanted to go, of course, to Hawaii with Brad. I don't think that'll ever happen. I just really don't. You know, that isn't the end of everything, because lots of people can't afford to do that. But it's just, I feel very defeated. I feel very defeated as a person. You know, so then I kind of I withdraw from everything, even Brad, and I isolate. It's almost like a self-protection thing, and he hadn't done anything to me at all, but it's like you don't want to be hurt anymore. And I just don't know. I guess I feel like I'm tired of the fight. I'm tired of the fight of trying to be accepted. And, you know, it's kind of funny that it affects you when they really haven't been in my life in so long. But still, I guess it was just kind of the idea that I hope to have another conversation with my dad.
Can I say something on that?
Do that, okay? Let me
Okay,
click
we'll do
myself.
that. The last few times, and it's been years ago, the last few times that I've talked with her dad, I've always liked him. I mean, yeah, he did a lot of stuff that I did not agree with, and, you know, and it doesn't matter how well you like somebody, there are going to be times where you get a little angry with them.
Oh, yeah.
And, but overall, I generally liked him, and I cannot see, I was told when I contacted somebody that this is what he wanted. He didn't want Teresa to be told, and actually the first words, the first text that this person sent back to me was that you folks are not in the will, so stop bothering us. And that's not what we're about. We're not about the money. There are things more important than money. And I felt so bad because I know how much Teresa loved her dad, and when allowed to, he could be very, very
when he wasn't
funny.
around my mother.
Yeah, basically, and he was very intelligent. He was very, very intelligent, and I think that's where Teresa got a lot of her craftiness. I mean, but she took the craftiness and she's run with it. But
That's where I got my art ability from.
yeah, and I can see that. But that is the coldest thing that I have ever seen anybody do, and the remaining family members down there are probably the most heartless, cold people I have ever seen in my life. And, yeah, we want absolutely nothing to do with them. And I am going to, do everything I can to protect Teresa, to be there for her. If she needs a shoulder to lean on or to cry on, it's here. But also I got to learn when to give her enough space, and just listen for when she wants to talk. So, are you okay, sweetie?
Keep talking for
Okay, I will.
another couple minutes, okay?
I will keep talking. But yeah, it's horrific. And then she has talked with other family members, mainly aunts and one uncle, and they were all horrified that it had been a couple, 3 months after her dad passed away when she saw the obituary, and they were horrified that she was never ever told. And it's hard to
I will
feel.
never believe that my dad.
And we were told that her dad did not want her to know. And I find that very, very hard to believe.
Yeah, I do too.
I find that very hard to believe. And she's doing an amazing job holding up. Because
I don't
Charlie.
feel like
that's
I
her-
am.
You are. Compared to Charlie, no, no. And compared to how I would have expected. Yeah, she has done phenomenally well. But I hate seeing her go through this stuff.
I just wish I understood, but I never will. And I know what's done is done and stuff, but it still doesn't make you feel any better.
Yep.
And if I haven't been coming on here because I don't want to cry, and I try to make it seem like I'm just perfectly fine, but you can only pretend for so long, and I will be okay. I just this has been a hard blow. There's been a few other things that have happened, not in regards to that, but other family stuff that I don't wish to talk about. I don't wish to make that public.
Yep.
I just have to get over feeling like that I have a family, because I just don't. I have a few aunts and an uncle, and that's it. And I know I have some wonderful friends, and I don't know what I would do without you guys, and I know you guys have been reaching out because I've been so quiet, and and I'm sorry, and please don't think that I don't care. It's just, I've been dealing with a lot, and I don't know. I would tell Brad all the time, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I thought, even moving here, that we were going to have family around, and that was our whole driving force, and that didn't happen, and we're dealing with trying to get over that anger, both of us. And what is our next step? While we would like to move back to Florida, frankly, we can't afford to. And I doubt we will be able to afford to. Because we would have to have movers and stuff again, and that's so expensive. And, so that isn't really realistic. So we'll just have to come up with a better plan.
And that upsets me how much I've deteriorated, and how fast I've deteriorated, because loading the RV, I was a man on a mission, and Teresa was just kind of
yeah, but you were really struggling before that,
yeah.
And that's why we wanted to move.
Yeah.
Too, and then, I mean, it happens. I mean, you could have had things so much worse. I mean, and that's when I feel bad that I'm depressed, because it's like I could feel there's so many worse things than that, and so I am very blessed. It just, my heart hurts, and I will get over it. But I'm not a super emotional person. I mean, I know some people that are way more emotional than, but I am, I'm a very loving, caring person, and
Very much so.
And I never wanted to give up hope on some family members and stuff. And when you realize that you have to, that's hard, I never wanted to, have any of this happen. I wanted to reach out to my dad, but I knew I couldn't, because it would cost him, it would cost him a lot of anguish having to deal with how my mother would react. And she definitely wore the pants in the family, and I didn't want to cause that kind of friction and chaos for him, and I knew there was no way around it. I thought about it all the time. I thought all the time about it. I would write him a letter, and maybe hopefully it would be him that checked the mailbox that day. He would get it. Maybe he would just, take it and not say anything to her and read it and stuff. But I thought, man,
Mm-hmm. If she
did,
yeah.
If she did, and I didn't want to put him in that kind of position and stuff, and I couldn't guarantee that if I even called his cell phone, he would answer and not have her sitting there. I just didn't want to cause any more problems, So, like I said, they can't take away my memories, but all my life, my family's always been so important to me. I mean, anybody that knows us from when our girls were growing up and stuff are shocked at what all has happened. I mean, Brett's been talking to his sister quite a bit, and that's been really good. His dad and stepmother are still in the rehab place, and handling that. His dad sounds a little bit better than he did at first.
He does.
And that has to be so hard. That makes me sad too, because Brad just met his father, and gone out in October, and I don't know if they'll get to go back home, and he'll, be able to go out there and stay and stuff. So, time to tell. But I'll be okay. I just wanted to be upfront with you guys about what's going on. I know you guys probably wonder, just like, she's so quiet. I haven't even been doing any TikToks hardly or anything. I just don't. You don't really know,
And I know you're having such a hard time, but,
I don't like to burden anybody else with my issues. It takes a lot for me to tell Brad all this,
mm-hmm.
And I have been. But, I don't want to burden anybody else. Y'all got your own stuff going on. Let me tell you one thing, too, though, is type in What did I type in for the at-home COVID test? I know I'm not supposed to say that word, but the big C, you can get free ones, and I had heard that, and you can. I pulled it up on Google, and they'll send you 8 free ones. We got ours in, and so you just have. There's 2 tests in each box, and they're totally free. So we got a total of 4 boxes. It's 8 tests. So it won't cost you anything. So you might as well type in, because sent right. It was quick too.
Yeah,
so
I was impressed with that.
It's nice to have those, because you do wonder. I know I sound very congested. I am very congested. It's called allergies. Really massive right now. I mean, I'll probably light that eucalyptus candle, but I have a massive sinus headache, and I am just so. And I took cold medicine last night, but the allergies are just. Ugh. And I know everybody's complaining about their allergies this year. They are blooming. I'll be okay. I can use you guys' support, though. I'm not gonna lie. Tell me stories of your crafting and just other stuff you're doing. I want to say one thing, though, is please know that just because I feel like I don't really have a family doesn't mean I don't love hearing about yours. I have no problem hearing about your children, your parents, I enjoy hearing the stories and stuff, so, and it makes me feel good when you share, because, I like to hear all that. So don't think, oh, I'm not going to share this with her because, I know I can share stories with her about something my dad did, because, hers is just passed on. No, please do. Please do, because, I'm not that way, and I enjoy hearing, Anybody want to adopt us? We're up for adoption. So, we got the role. We got open areas for, older and younger, and, so, it'll all work out. It always does.
It will.
But, just the way life is. Guys, keep praying for Leanne. She's still on the mend. Like I said, I feel bad for keeping complaining, because she has to stay home and not be moving around. And like I said, it's not my story to tell, it's hers. Her channel name is Enchanted April, and I believe she put out a video. I watched it about what happened. So go give her some love and stuff, because she could use our support too. When all of a sudden you're not working, you're home, and it's going to be a long rehab, that can make it hard, She's used to being on the go, and now she's having to basically sit there and stuff, and it's got to be hard. I worry about her. I worry about everybody. I'm a worrywart. I worry about everybody. I want to mother everybody. I'm that type of a person. So,
that's
like I said, if you need some mothering, I can certainly, and I don't mean that in a bad way, so please don't think that was like, no, I mean, we have some, bonus children that, we're very blessed to have and stuff, and that makes you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I'll be okay. I just,
I keep telling you, you're stronger than you realize.
Oh, I know I am. It's just, I feel brokenhearted. There's no other way to put it. I feel brokenhearted, about quite a few things. And it's a process, and I'll get through it. And I'll be stronger because of it. But the ride isn't very fun. It's like being strapped onto a roller coaster you don't want to be on, basically. The bipolar and the depression factor doesn't help. But it is what it is. So, that's about all I have to say. That's about all you have to say.
Nope. I think you covered it all very, very well. And
Other than that, blood sugar's been great. Let's say eating less carb and stuff. Let me talk about that real quick, Sky Thought. You had one thing I can talk about is what we're doing to lose weight and stuff. And that's been difficult because I'm an emotional eater. I am. So is Brad. And we like to love each other with food too, because he's a heck of a cook too. You know, like he used to make me cream puffs from scratch and stuff. And anyway, try not to think about that because I loved, oh, those were so good. Anyway, I guess you still can make me, just use the sugar-free pudding.
Yeah.
We eat the bulk. We're on the Ozempic. We're both diabetics. We take Toujeo with our everyday insulin, and then we're on the Ozempic, which you take once a week. And talk to your doctor about it, because now they are prescribing it just for weight loss even. I don't know if they prescribe it if you're not a diabetic just for weight loss or not. I have no idea. But anyway, you start out at 0.25, and then we were at 0.5, and then she bumped us up to 1, and now she's bumped us up to 2. And it does make you not hungry, and it makes you feel very full very fast. So what we do is we eat the bulk of our carbs in our afternoon meal, because we don't usually do much breakfast. And that way too, any cooking we have to do is done in the afternoon. We're not having to do it at night when we want to just kind of sit and watch some TV. Can you look up what the name of that show is that we just started watching on Netflix?
Was it The Unexplained?
Yeah, okay.
Was that the one with William Shatner?
Yeah. No, I guess I'll tell you about that in a minute. So anyway, that's what we do. So we'll eat, like, we just had what we call taco bowls, which is just rice and beans, some of your taco meat, then your lettuce, tomato, onion, a little bit of sour cream, and taco sauce. I eat that instead of eating all the flour tortillas and stuff. Brad makes his into some tacos. Very, very good. It's better than anything that Taco Bell sells, I'll tell you that. And a lot cheaper. And, but, so we'll do that. And then in the evening, we just have protein and vegetables. You know, I'll have like some kind of protein and green beans or something like that. And, yeah, it's difficult still. You get hungry at night and stuff. But if I'm going to have fruit and stuff, I have it in the afternoon. If I were going to have a little bit of ice cream or something, it would be in the afternoon. But it's made a difference with driving down the blood sugar number, too. Mm-hmm. Like, that's something we have to be rather cautious on. And when we are going up to 2 next Monday, and we're going to have to really, really monitor that blood sugar. Because, you know, you don't want to get too low. So, that's what we've been doing there. It's been working. I mean, you know, it didn't really make that much of a difference. You're diabetic, you know, you can't just go on your carb-loving binge. Okay, I mean, we used to go on some carb-loving binges. I mean, you know, we're cooks, and we can love each other with food, and emotional eaters, and I mean, we'd be on this diet. Okay, we'd be on this diet that's just so strict. And then, you know how you go off, and you think, okay, I already went off, so I might as well make it really good. You end up eating everything in sight, especially if you just cleaned out your house of all the junk stuff. Well, we used to do that all the time. And then, you don't have anything bad to eat, so then you gotta go to the store and buy some stuff that, you know, or make it. But once you're diabetic, and since I ended up in ICU and almost died, you know that you can't ever go on a bender like that again. You just can't. So it made this a little bit easier. Anytime I get hungry, I'm going to eat some green beans. Hey, it fills you up, right?
Living on the edge.
So that's about all we have to talk about, right? This is almost an hour.
Okay, yep.
So anyway, I love you guys, and I do cherish your friendship so very much. Hang in there with me. Together we'll all get through it. I know some of you guys are going through a lot of stuff too. Most everybody is. So share your stories with me. We can all support each other. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you in a few days. Say bye, Brad.
Bye, Brad.
Bye, guys.